2 years ago on this day, the Modi government took charge after winning a historic mandate. How have things changed? Are the Achhe Din finally here? Here's a special report on the 2 years that were and the agenda for the next 3.
जिस समय हम 2 साल पहले वहां शपथ ले रहे थे, उसी समय में आज मेरे देशवासियों को मेरे काम का हिसाब देने के लिए आया। क्या कभी भी 2 साल में
A massive show of strength in pole-bound Uttar Pradesh. The Modi government drew the battle lines even as it celebrated its 2-year anniversary. India Inc. is waving a thumbs up to the Modi government. 67% of the CEOs are satisfied with steps to create an attractive business environment, according to a CNBC TV18 BMR Advisors exclusive poll. The only minor glitch is around taxes. 43% say they are not satisfied with steps to end the tax uncertainty. We must point out that this poll was done before the government decided to amend its tax treaty with Mauritius. The general anti-avoidance rules will kick in from next year, and the government maintains that investors have nothing to fear.
We can't have a world where people are not paying taxes, so everybody has to pay their fair share of taxes. And so if there are constructs that are set up without necessarily a legitimate commercial purpose, but simply to avoid paying taxes in jurisdictions, then of course we have to ensure that we close those loopholes, and that's what GAR is intended to do.
Top CEOs are also waving a thumbs up to the government's Startup India plan, single window clearance and banking reforms. But banks continue to struggle with bad assets, and the government is confident that things will turn for the better.
The series of steps which have been taken, even global prices have helped. In fact, now they seem to be threatening the aspect of inflation. And I think the sector is now in a position much better as far as the NPAs are concerned. Highways has revived. Power sector with the Uday scheme, most of the state boards, their debts have been taken over by the state governments, and therefore as the bonds are sold in the markets, I think that itself will have an impact on the balance sheet. So you have simultaneously a lot of things which are happening, and I think the reprovisioning will show higher debt, higher losses as far as the banks are concerned, but a series of these steps, I think in the quarters to come, will also enable the banks to reverse a lot of these.
The failure to roll out GST ranks as the biggest disappointment from the first 2 years of the Modi government. This is followed by lack of aggression in divestment and disposing litigations. With Congress remaining adamant on its 3-point GST agenda, the finance minister categorically told CNBC TV18 that enough is enough.
I have tried all avenues. I have spoken to their leaders. Every session I am told, come on the next session. Meanwhile, work has gone on. After all, this government has passed over 90 bills in the last 2 years. In the last session, I passed 24 bills. The only one held up really amongst the significant legislations is the GST. And therefore, having been passed by the Lok Sabha, having been approved and supported by every Congress government in the states, I think enough is enough. And therefore, the Congress party should really, I would ideally like to do it with consensus. I will continue to discuss with them till the last moment. After all, we are the government, it's our responsibility. Or otherwise, let the parliament process decide.
लाल किले की प्राचीर से विश्व भर में लोगों से कहना चाहता हूं, come, make in India.
The government's thrust towards manufacturing was evident from day one. The Make in India mission has been voted by CEOs as the best government program over the last 2 years. The man who drove the mission is confident that FDI inflows are on the rise, and that trend will only continue.
But one must understand that manufacturing is getting more and more digitized over a period of time. But the inflow into the manufacturing sector is close to about 40%. So, you know, that's a very high number.
So 40% year on year?
It's about 42%. So the FDI inflow into the manufacturing sector being 42% is a very good performance according to me.
The move to bank the unbanked, the Jan Dhan Yojana, was voted as the second best government mission. At number 3 is the Skill India mission. The minister in charge is confident of meeting the target of skilling 300 million people by 2022.
You see, the demand is not for high-end jobs. Absolutely. Yeah. The demand is for, the industry has been craving and saying that, look, we do not have the actual manpower at the entry level. And that's why when you say we don't have plumbers, we don't have masons, we don't have this, we don't have X, Y, and Z, it's basically the entry-level jobs. It never became aspirational. And I said, you don't have professor of welding or professor of you still call a tailor, you do not call him a fashion designer. So we still, the definitions are
loose and
are
vague
loose. So,
and not very...
But the Prime Minister has given a focus to it now, and he said that the language of skills should be defined. We need to partner with the states.
Of the two pet projects of the Telecom Ministry, Digital India is ranked as the 4th best government mission by CEOs. The Startup India Drive is at number 5. The Digital India mission was launched amidst much fanfare at the centre. The Telecom Minister is confident of taking internet to rural India.
When our government came, just 358 kilometers of optical fiber and 2,000 kilometers of optical pipe. Now we have 1,40,000 kilometers of optical pipe and 1,16,000 kilometers of optical fiber.
59% of the CEOs polled by CNBC TV18 are satisfied with steps taken to develop infrastructure. The ministers who are leading the charge are promising to ramp up capital expansion.
In next year, we'll be spending more than what we estimated, 1,21,000 crore for sure. Also, I must remind you, sometimes this point is lost. The capital expenditure is from the railways. Budget itself is not a capital expenditure railway is going to incur. This comes from various factors. For example, now the high-speed railway, 1 lakh crore project, which will start 2023 is a commissioning date. So in the next 2-3 years, we'll see a substantial capex to be incurred on that. Dedicated freight corridor, tenders have been issued. So the capex that will really happen in the next year will be phenomenally high, 85,000 crore project.
Last year, in the 12 months just gone by, we've bid out 21,000 megawatt of solar power projects. Many of them within the solar parks. So land, transmission, all taken care of. All the projects have a PPA with a reasonably good counterparty. Most of them with NTPC, SECI, or performing discoms. Now, if that is possible in a short span of 12 years, achieving 100,000 megawatts by 2022 is clearly doable.
It's not just the CEOs, the common man is also largely happy with the performance of the government. An online poll by Local Circle among 3.7 lakh registered users showed 46% believe that the government has met expectations. But job creation remains a major challenge. 43% of those polled believed unemployment has not reduced. Jobs and the agrarian crisis are two key planks from which the opposition is launching its attacks.
मोदी जी से और मोदी जी की सरकार से पूछना चाहता हूं कि ये जश्न क्यों मनाया जा रहा है? क्या हर युवा को रोजगार मिल गया? क्या किसान ने आत्महत्या बंद कर दी? क्या किसान को कॉस्ट प्लस 50% प्रॉफिट मिल गया? क्या हो गया पिछले 2 साल में जिसलिए आप जश्न मना रहे हो?
Lots of talk but no go. Lots of big statements but no action. You know, and this government has had so many tailwinds in its favor.
The 2 years of the Modi government is marked by the failure to deal with the serious agrarian crisis in the country. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the BJP had during the Lok Sabha election campaign promised jobs for all. Employment generation has declined in the last 2 years. I think this is the second biggest failure. And the third is that under this government, the Hindutva communal forces have gone on a rampage.
But the Prime Minister is not taking any attacks lying down. He started the rally at Saharanpur today by highlighting the measures taken for farmers and also slammed the opposition.
यह देश बदल रहा है, लेकिन कुछ लोगों का दिमाग नहीं बदल रहा।
2 down, 3 to go. It's time to step on the pedal and accelerate reforms. Bureau Report, CNBC TV18.